For the first half of my life, I carried around a huge backpack of expectations, of worries, and things I thought I had to care about. But somewhere around the time that I turned 50 years old, I started to realize that that backpack was just way too heavy and it was robbing me of my peace. So today I want to share with you 5 things that I completely stopped caring about after I turned 50. And trust me, if you drop just one of these, your life is going to be a lot lighter. So number 1, other people's timelines and expectations. I realized that I didn't have to prove myself to anybody anymore. And it was okay to say no. If somebody asked me to do something, it was okay for me to say no if I didn't want to do it and feel okay about it and not feel guilty. I carried that around for so long. I would say yes to things that I didn't want to do just because I didn't want conflict, or I didn't want people to be mad at me or to think less of me. No is a complete sentence. And you get to choose how you spend your time and your energy. And number 2 is collecting stuff. So I made a shift of accumulating and buying things to letting things go and choosing peace. There was a period of time in my life that I would go shopping just to buy things to fill my home, or to buy new clothing, or when my son was younger, to buy him new toys. And once I knew that I was going to be moving and selling my house, I started to go through all those things, and it really was an eye-opener. I really started to think, I spent so much money on things that really didn't matter. And as I was going through those things and deciding what to do, whether to throw them out if they weren't any good anymore, or to keep them, or to donate them, it really was a bit of a challenge, and it took me some time to do that. But once I let go of those things, there was a weight off my shoulder. Having less equals less stress in your life. And it leads to having a more peaceful and simpler life. Number 3 is pleasing everybody. I started realizing the meaning of real, true friendships. I have a small circle of friends that really mean a lot to me, and I mean a lot to them. And I really started to realize the people that were around me that would suck my energy, cause me anxiety, and I would lose my peace around them. I needed to let certain people go. And I can tell you that once I did that, it just filled my life with peace, and I realized that having that smaller circle of people, friends and family around me, is so much better. And I started enjoying my own company. Being alone, you really start to learn a lot about yourself. I am an introvert, so being alone means a lot to me. I need that time to myself. I do like being around those few close friends occasionally and going out and doing things, but that alone time means so much to me. And I'm okay with that. Even though there's some people that are in my life that don't quite understand that. They're exactly the opposite of being an introvert, but I started to realize that that time alone and that time to myself, and being an introvert and being a person that is quiet, is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Number 4 is the need to always be busy. I let go of always feeling like I had to be productive, that corporate hustle that I have had for so many years. I let go of that and started to realize that being busy and being the best corporate employee was not anything that had to do with my self-worth. I embrace now slow mornings, quiet mornings, and days where I have nothing to do, where I can do what I want or just sit alone and read a book or watch TV. And learned that it's okay to do that. And it has nothing to do with my self-worth and being a good person. And number 5 is the fear of starting over. At about 50 years old, when my son was starting to get older, I was thinking about what I was going to do with the rest of my life. I realized that as a single mom, my job was to raise my son the best way that I could and for him to leave the house and go out on his own. I was terrified at one point, thinking, what will I do with my time? I'm going to be all by myself. I was still single and am still single now, and I thought, I am going to be all alone and so lonely. What will I do without him? I'm going to start drinking again, and I'm going to need to drink every day just to deal with that. But I slowly started to realize that this part of my life in the second half is going to be the best that you can make it to be, and it's going to be the best time. Being alone is okay, and I look forward to the second half, doing what I want to do and finding out what my passions are and what I love to do. It's been such a long time. My priority was my son as I was raising him for those 18 years, and now it's my time, and I look forward to it. You have decades of experience and wisdom, and you aren't starting from scratch. And at this time of our lives, it comes a feeling of freedom, a feeling of independence, being able to do what you want to do finally. And that's a pretty good feeling. The beautiful thing about this second half is that you get to write your own rules. So if you are ready to build a more intentional and peaceful chapter in this part of your life, go ahead and let me know that in the comments. I would love to hear about it. If this video resonated with you, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you along in this journey as we start to lead a simpler, more peaceful life. And I'll see you in the next video.